Webheads, comic book fans, this is my top 10 most anticipated comics for September 7th, 2022. Guys, I'm Mike Spider-Slayer. Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. Hopefully this list helps you make decisions on what comic books to buy. And you know what? It's never too early to start that pull list for next week. So hopefully this is informative to you. So let's get started with this week's list. Kicking it off with the Hot Seat. And the Hot Seat book is a book that was recommended to me. This is from Ablaze. This is The Boogeyman. This is issue 1. Why you should not count this book out? Well, the last book that Ablaze came out that I read was Life Zero. And that entire series was absolutely phenomenal. Here we get some kind of other horror fantasy-like type of style of book where this kid teams up with a boogeyman and goes on adventures with him. Yeah, there's more than one boogeyman. There's boogeymen. And, you know, you're scared of the boogeyman, right? He lives under your bed or your closet or something like that. Well, there's a world where this kid is teaming up with them. Could sound like a lot of fun. I might check out the first issue. We'll see where it goes from there. This book is $3.99. Right, so let's move on to the book that's on the rise. I've been really enjoying this. I feel like this does get better each time you read it. And this is Flashpoint Beyond. This is issue 5. Titled The Clockwork Killer, Chapter 5. So the Clockwork Killer's identity is finally revealed in this particular issue. The funny thing, though, is about this book is that you get Harvey Dent, who was killed, and his wife is in Arkham Asylum, and she's basically have gone crazy and is becoming I guess the new Two-Face or whatnot. In the meantime, we get the little boy who's being under Thomas Wayne's parental vision, where the Penguin is actually taking care of him, and he wants to learn about guns and bombs and all this other stuff. So I think we're going to get more of this character too, and that's what I care about more. Like, I want to know about this little kid who's like going to cause all this mayhem and chaos, dude. That's great. But overall, the series is good. It's got good artwork, and it's definitely worth the money. 32 pages and $4. Don't forget, guys, after number 1, we're going to talk about the noteworthy comics or other comics that are getting ready to hit store shelves on this particular comic book weekend. So now coming in at number 10, this is like the Golden Girls of comic books. This is called Golden Rage issue 2. Yeah, this was a quite weird book, that first issue, where we get to see this girl who ends up in this island. Her boat sinks, and it's this island with all these old women doing battle against the Red Hats. Like, who the hell is the Red Hats? And this is just a weird and interesting book. Like, I want to know why all these old women reside to this island and why they all have to protect each other, and how this whole thing came to be. Definitely a different style of book. It may not be for everybody, but I'm sticking with it for right now. Moving on to number 9. This is the Return of Erratic. That's right, guys. This is Erratic Recharged issue 1. So Oliver is back. He is the character who can only power up and charge up and be a superhero 10 minutes a day. That's what his powers can do. It's like he's a battery, and once that power depletes, he's de-energized and he's a normal person again. This is a quite interesting book, and it looks like he's going to be teaming up with a barbarian princess in this issue. This is straight from the pages of The Resistance, so that is from obviously AWA's universe. I liked the first issue. The first volume. I did think there was a lot that tried to happen in that story. The characters didn't always mesh well, but I'm willing to give this second volume a try because I love the concept of this character. Moving on to number 8, so we have a new Avengers book. Maybe this is the Avengers book that you guys can jump on, and I know the Jason Aaron run is getting ready to end, but for right now, we have All Out Avengers issue 1. This is introducing all new Avengers series that starts in the middle of the explosive action and races to a shocking climax. An alien attack, a missing piece of wormhole tech, a city warped and citizens transformed into hideous creatures loyal to an empress from the far side of the universe, and a certain Captain Marvel looking to her fellow Avengers with murderous intent. Plunge into the action and take deep breath because you will never be allowed up for air as a thrilling new series kicks off the strongest, strangest way possible. 28 pages, $4. When you look at the team here, it looks like you got Captain America, Spider-Woman, Thor, Black Panther, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain Marvel. That's who's on the cover. Are they actually in the book? I don't know. We'll see. But I'm looking forward to this. I want to read it, man. Coming in at number 7, this book is just guilty pleasure for me. I always love Jennifer Walters, always love She-Hulk. This is She-Hulk issue 6, and it looks like we're going to get Nightcrawler in the book right now, and there's a lot of questions going on in the pages of She-Hulk. We get what's his name? The Jack of Hearts, who is in the book, and he's not sure what's going on with him because he lost his powers. He's still trying to find answers. We got these weird other people that are husband and wife that are in the book that are introduced. We don't know too much about them. I actually don't know too much of what's going on in the story. I don't feel like a lot has happened. That's why this is not higher on my countdown, but it's still an interesting book. The characters are written really well, and I love the artwork in here. So if you're following legacy numbering, it's legacy 169, 28 pages, $4 comic. We move on to number 6, and number 6 goes to a book I never thought that was going to be so great. I've never been such a huge fan of the character, but this is Ghost Rider issue 6. He's always been really cool, but I never really got into that supernatural stuff. But this is just a badass book, man. It's very horrific. It's written by Benjamin Percy. The last issue that I read, they went on this motorcycle race, and they went and met up with, I think, is it Satan's son or something like that, if I remember correct. But it looks like we're going to get Wolverine and Ghost Rider team up in this issue because they did meet up at the end of the last issue. I'm very much looking forward to this. This is issue 249, 28 pages, and this one is $4. Right, so now we move on to the top 5. I felt like I talked about this book last week, so maybe this one was delayed a week. This is Spawn issue 333. Al's alone. Allies have abandoned him, new threats are emerging, and his mission is in doubt. Is this really the end? Yeah, no, it's not the end. You can't have Spawn end. There'll be no more Spawn book, right? But now that you have all these other Spawns, it's like, well, who's to say that he couldn't disappear for a while? You know what character I really want in a book on their own is She-Spawn. I think she's a great character. But going back to Spawn issue 33, this is a staple, man. If you've been reading Spawn all this time, why not pick this book up? I don't know if you'll understand what's going on when it comes to the Spawn book as of right now, though, if you picked it up for the first time. But you can't beat that price. $3, 24 pages. Coming in at number 4. I don't know, man. This could be like the surprise book of the week. Because when I saw this, I'm like, this just sounds cool. I'll read you the description. And this is from Dynamite Comics. This is The Ninjets issue 1. So look at the cover here as you get to see a few girls that are dressed in school uniforms. And they're like ninjas, and there's 3 of them. It says, bursting from the pages of Jennifer Blood, meet the Ninjets. These college-age women were taught to fit the profile, forced to become deadly and expendable assassins. But who created the profile? Why were they selected to be its latest deadly operatives? And who will they kill first? Their targets or each other? It's all-out action from writer Fred Van Lente and artist Joseph Cooper. It sounds interesting premise. It's like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but they're females and they're humans, right? I just think that's awesome because you got one character with a sai, you got one character with a sword, one with nunchucks, right? You're just missing one with a staff, and that could be introduced later on in the future. 32 pages, $4. Coming in at number 3, I've love this series so far. I think it's been very entertaining. Other people could be like, I'm sick of it. I'm done with, DC events. I'm done with crises. But this is Dark Crisis on Infinite Earth issue 4. Witness the birth of a new DC multiverse. Now, a lot of people will say, do we need another DC multiverse? Like, we have so many of them. I don't know. It's spinning out of the pages of The Flash. So we'll see what happens with this one. I love how Deathstroke was in this book. I love how Nightwing and Deathstroke fought. I love how the Green Lanterns were reintroduced in this book. Not really reintroduced, but we haven't seen them in a long time. The core, how Jordan was in there. I think Kyle Rayner was in there. I love that, you know? And I'm very curious to see where this book is really going to end. At the end of the day, we get Rose, who is at her end's wit with her dad, because her dad is obviously being possessed, and there's a much greater mission here for him. And I like it, dude. It's 32 pages, $5. Moving in to number 2, and we have Punisher issue 6. So is Frank Castle now going to do battle against Ares, the god of war? I don't know. I can't wait to see what happens, but this book has been absolutely awesome. I feel like this is Jason Aaron's best work in a long time, as we get to see a young Frank Castle in his like preteen years, as he's always struggled with certain things in his life. He's bullied, then he tries to be the bully, and maybe not everyone agrees with that. But it's been interesting. It's been a pretty cool book. We get to see his wife, Maria, resurrected. Possibly the kids could be resurrected, but we haven't seen that yet. He tried to escape because he found this place was a much more darker place, and it doesn't represent what he stands for, and he thought he could take his wife with him, but as soon as he leaves the place, Maria's dying. So now he had to bring her back, and he's forced to fight once again for them. Great book, man. Legacy numbering 250 for the Punisher, 36 pages, $5. But my number 1 most anticipated comic book for next week is Batman issue 127. Chip Zdarsky's Batman has been so good. I love the battle between him and Failsafe, and it just feels like his back was against the wall. He's sitting there retreating, scrambling, doesn't know what to do, trying to pull out all contingencies, and just failed, right? But then at the end of the freaking book in the last issue, what happened to him? He wound up going into the Batcave. He did something. He changed his costume, and he came out like he's all roided out or angry, or I don't know, dude. It just seems weird, but it seems like it's his last-ditch effort to try to stop this robot. Whatever the case may be, whatever happens, this is just great action, great storytelling. I love the artwork in here as well. This is a must-read Batman book right now. So now we move on to those noteworthy comics. Some of them are not so noteworthy, but I thought that maybe if you're reading this stuff, you should know that it's coming out. So if you're reading Spider-Man 2099 series, we got the 2099 Omega issue 1 that is being released. So I guess maybe this is the end of it, where we have Spidey 2099 fighting the 2099 Green Goblin. Next from Marvel, we have Moon Knight issue 15, which I didn't put on the countdown because I still haven't caught up with this series. I am so bad, and I am so sorry. And this book is getting so much praise. I have not been able to read 4 issues in a row of the book. So apologize. All right, next. If you're following all the Judgment Day stuff, the Axe stuff, I'm going to put it out there for you. Wolverine issue 24. We have Immortal X-Men issue 6. We have Marauders issue 6. And we have Death to Mutants issue 2. So those are all the Axe Judgment Day tie-ins. Next from Marvel, I have Black Panther issue 9. I know some people are really liking that series. And then we move on to some DC, where we have the new champion of Shazam. This is issue 2. I still have issue 1 to read, so when I get this one, I'll read those 2 back to back. Next, we have Batman Dear Detective issue 1. So it looks like this is an accumulation of Lee Bermenjo's artwork. So if you love all his cover art or the B covers on Detective Comics, I think you're going to get a lot of that in this book. His artwork is absolutely outstanding. I mean, did you look at Batman Damned? Do you remember that book? He did the artwork in that, and that was gorgeous. All right, for the Poison Ivy fans, we got Poison Ivy issue 4. Great looking cover art on there. I'm not a huge fan of the story, but maybe you guys are. So there you guys have it. There are all the comics getting ready to come out for September 7th. 2022, and some of the noteworthy comics as well. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment down below, and of course, if you want more content, I'll leave you more content right here to check out. In fact, this is my top 10 comic book covers of the week, where you can vote on your favorite cover of the week. And as always, guys, keep buying, keep collecting, but most importantly, you know what you got to do? You got to always read your comics. Guys, I'll see you real soon. Take care. Bye.